face-off at center ice to start the first period. And it's Henri Richard, Claude Provo, and Red Berenson. And it's McKenny, Keon, and Armstrong, along with Stanley and Horton. Horton in the corner, working his way out. A quick pass to Keon at center ice. He takes a long shot. Worsley catches it, scooping it into the corner. Cleared up for Richard, stopped by Stanley to McKenny. Lost it to Harper. Harper holds it against the boards. Face-off is in the Montreal zone to the right. Keon facing off with Richard. On the face-off, it goes to the boards. Held there again by J.C. Tremblay. Beliveau, Rousseau, Duff, LaPerriere, and J.C. Tremblay for Montreal. Pulford, Kelly, Stewart, Brewer, and Bob Baum. Lining up for a face-off in the Montreal zone to the right. All ready to go. Puck batted down by J.C. Tremblay. He passed to Beliveau. Beliveau to Bobby Rousseau. A long shot off the board. Stewart let it go over his stick. Beliveau broke his stick. Bob Vaughn around to Kelly. Kelly is checked. And Rousseau checked. Carl Brewer down the left wing over the line with Kelly. Stopped by Beliveau. Hofford ran at Beliveau. Now they start their sticks. Hofford and Beliveau. And there'll be penalties.
Montreal penalty to number 4, Beliveau. 2 minutes for high sticking. Toronto penalty to number 20, Pulford. 2 minutes for high sticking. The time, 57 seconds.
Face-off is outside the Maple Leaf blue line. The teams are playing 5 aside. All set for the face-off. Goes down the ice to the Montreal blue line. Inside the blue line to Terry Harper. He shot it out for Provo. Stopped by Carl Brewer, who's checked. Bob Vaughn off the boards. Harper ahead to Provo. Stopped by Mahavlich. Mahavlich to Ellis. Over the line, and it's offside. Face-off outside the blue line. It goes back to Harper. Terry Harper along the board, shooting it up to Provo. Ahead for Richard. Trying to get around Ellis. Bumped by Vaughn, and it's cleared ahead to Mahavlich. In pass for Ellis to Richard. He's grabbed by Vaughn and knocked down. Goes loose to Harper. Harper took his shot wide. Mahavlich gets a hold of it, and there's a penalty.
Toronto penalty to number 21, Bond. 2 minutes for charging. The time 1:37.
Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. Montreal Canadiens with a man advantage, playing 5 men to 4. Comes back to LaPerriere, a shot, and hit the goal post, and ended up on the goal line. That one hit the post on a carom. Came right to the goal line, but didn't go over. On the face-off, Cournoyer. Jammed in on the boards by Hort. Henri Richard trying to get it loose. Knocked down. Keon shoots it to the blue line, but not out. LaPerriere over to Provo. His shot hit Horton. Horton goes after it. Clears it into the Canadian zone, and Keon moves after it. Keon picking it up. It's a goal!
Toronto goal scored by number 14, Keon. Assist, number 7, Horton. The time, 2:10.
On the face-off, Richard. Pass to LaPerriere. Takes a long shot. Bauer stopping it. Stanley shoots it off the boards, and Keon has a break. Going over the line. Getting in front of the net. He shoots. Oh, and Worsley stopped that. Horton shooting it back into the Canadian zone, and Keon is replaced by Kelly. Henri Richard. Over the blue line. Stops. Pass it over to LaPerriere. There's his shot. It hits Stanley. A shot right in front. Provo takes it back, and that went wide. Cournoyer right in front to Richard. Back to Cournoyer. Right in on goal. He shoots, and Bauer snapped it on the short side. Stanley can't get it out. Perrier a pass. Colford is on the ice. Cleared in front of the net. Pass ahead for Kelly. He's got a breakaway. He's going down in the low. Right in on goal. He shoots. Score!
Toronto goal scored by number 4, Kelly. Assist, number 26, Stanley. The time, 3:11.
Now set for the face-off at center ice. Colford back to Brewer. Leinster still short-handed. Here's a chance for Harper over to Backstrom, away from him. Now it's Douglas. He lost it to Backstrom. LaRose takes his shot. Bauer stopped it. Harris hit by Douglas. It's cleared in front of the net. Ferguson takes his shot, and that hits the crossbar. There's score! And it's 2-1. On the face-off.
Scored by number 22, Ferguson. Assist, number 6, Backstrom, and number 10, Harris. The time, 3:32.
Here's Mahamud, put it in goal. A shot, Ellis shoots, he scores! Ellis puts it in the net.
I am
Quite a start to this one, as there are 4 goals scored in the first 3 minutes and 49 seconds of the first period.
All set for the face-off at center. Keon facing off against Henri Richard. It goes back to Brewer. Brewer, a pass to Keon. Back for Brewer over the line. Harris watches him, knocks him down. Has it against the board. McKinney trying to center it. It goes to Talbot, up to Provo. Provo into the late zone and gone. Here's it around for Armstrong. 2-5. Talbot takes the shot. McKinney picks it up. With Keon over the blue line. Keon is dumped. There's going to be a penalty here to Harris for tripping.
Montreal penalty to number 10, Harris. 2 minutes for tripping. The time 4:18.
Face-off outside the Montreal blue line, leads for the man advantage. Playing 6 men to 5, and they're using Ellis, Stemkowski, Mahavlich, Horton, and Douglas. Up to Ellis. He shoots it in. J.C. Tremblay going back for it. Behind the Montreal goal. Gets away from Ellis. Stemkowski takes him to the board. Yongi Talbot knocking it behind the net. Stemkowski after it. Back to Mahavlich. For Stemkowski trying to center it. And it's played out and down the ice. Horton going back for it. Over to Mahavlich. His shot bounces right to Douglas. Up for Stemkowski. Over the line for Mahavlich. Roberts in behind the net. Left it there. Stemkowski bumping into LaPerriere. Still after it. Centered it right in front of Mahavlich. Oh, that was snapped by Worsley. Douglas runs into Roberts, and it's shot down the ice. Now up the ice for Horton to Mahavlich. Over the line. There's the shot. Worsley caught it. Scooped it out to the corner. Stemkowski is given a bump. J.C. Tremblay covered by Mahavlich. Stemkowski gets it loose to Horton. Horton lets the shot go. That carried him wide. Stemkowski trying to center it. Ellis from behind the net. Centered it right to Horton. There's his shot. Worsley stopped that. Ellis goes to the board. Stemkowski is rammed by Roberts. Mahavlich centered it out in front. Play is called, and there's a penalty for boarding to Roberts.
Number 26, Roberts. 2 minutes for boarding. The time 5:55.
Face-off is in the Montreal zone to the right. The Leafs have a 2-man advantage, playing 6 men to 4. Keon, McKinney, Armstrong, Horton, and Douglas. On the face-off, McKinney to Douglas. Over to Horton. Back to Douglas. Over for McKinney. J.C. Tremblay behind the net. Trying to get away from McKinney. It's against the board, and they hold it there for a face-off. Face-off in the circle, the left of the Montreal goal. Keon, McKinney, Armstrong, Horton. It goes to Armstrong. Back to Horton. Horton takes his shot. John Guy Talbot knocked it down. Horton to Douglas. Back to McKinney, right in front for Douglas, and he shot it wide. Armstrong. Back to Horton, and he shot it down the ice. After it goes Harris. Horton in there first. Goes in front. Keon has it. Keon getting away from Talbot. Up with McKinney. Keon still has it over the line. Trying to go through, and it's outside at the blue line. Montreal short-handed, one man. Todd Provo out there with Red Berenson, and Horton goes back for it. Behind the net. Missed a check from Berenson. Horton a long pass to McKinney. Going over the blue line, closing in. Pass it right across the goal mouth. Douglas moves up into the corner. Shot it right into the goal mouth, and Provo clears it down the ice. Power up to Keon. Keon. Pass for Armstrong, failed to click. Provo in possession. Clearing it back to LaPerriere, over to Harris. Off the boards to Berenson. Stopped by Stewart. For Keon, that failed to click. Up comes LaPerriere over the blue line. Stops. Is checked. Keon. Still in possession. Over to Stewart. With Kelly over the line. They're closing in. Kelly takes his shot. Worsley catches it and holds onto it. Face-off in the Montreal zone. It comes back to Horton. His shot. Havlitz centered it right in front, and Richard comes up with it. Ahead to Berenson. Over for Provo. Shot off the boards out to center ice. Clearing pass. Berenson to Richard. Over on the right wing to Provo. His shot is wide. Back for it is Mahavlich. A long pass for Ellis. LaPerriere is checked. And Stanley breaks up with Mahavlich. Over the line, Mahavlich after it. Trying to center it. Cleared it right onto Richard's stick. Stamkowski trying to check him. He did. Gets it again. Trying to roll it through. Richard is checked, and Stamkowski gives it to Stanley. Up for Mahavlich. Broken up by Berenson to Richard. Richard waiting for Berenson to get onside. Pass to Provo, and he just shot it into the Leaf zone, and Horton goes back for it. Clearing pass to Ellis. Behind Stamkowski. Mahavlich lost it. Stanley gets it out. And Mahavlich picks it off. Up to center. Pass for Ellis on the right wing. He races in after it. Worsley knocked it to LaPerriere. Perriere to Provo. Straight down the right wing. He's dumped by Brewer. And play is called, and there's a tripping penalty to Brewer.
Lead.
All set for the face-off for the Maple Leafs on the left. It's Beliveau with Cournoyer and Backstrom. Russo gets his shot in front. Douglas ahead for Keon to Armstrong. Armstrong takes a long shot. Grabbed off by Worsley. Javi Russo. Pass ahead to Cournoyer. Coming down at center with Beliveau. Over the line, that's offside. Face off outside the blue line. Keon had it in his skates. Beliveau cleared it back into his own zone. Javi Russo back for it, number 15. Starting out over his own blue line to center. With Backstrom over the line. Backstrom trying to get around Armstrong. It goes to Douglas. Douglas clearing it, but not out. Russo. A pass for Cournoyer. Bauer scooped at it twice, and Horton comes up with it. Shoots it off the boards and down the ice. Back for it is Perriere. Knocked Perriere for Cournoyer off the skate. Tim Horton turns and shoots it right back again. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Carl Brewer as Russo comes down the right wing at center. Up over the blue line. He's hit by Horton. Hofford clears it off the boards, but not out. Beliveau to LaPerriere. His shot, and that's wide. Hofford chopped it off the boards and down the ice. Perriere's back for it. A pass to Russo. Russo up with Richard, Cournoyer, and Berenson. They're over the blue line. Javi Russo Going to the corner. Checked by Horton. Horton in possession. Gets away from Rousseau. Shoots it off the boards down the ice. Worsley stops it. Got it into the corner. Clearing pass goes behind Krubel. There to head for Berenson to Richard. Over the line, stops. Back for Krubel. Brewer is on the ice. Brewer clearing it out. It hit the linesman. Play is called. Face-off in the Montreal zone to the right of Gump Worsley. From the face-off, Stemkowski passed it right to Berenson. Coming down the ice, trying to get around Horton. Too well covered, and Stanley has it. Stanley, a long pass for Mahavlich. Cutting in on the left wing, Harris checked him. Stopped by Stemkowski. Back for Mahavlich. Mahavlich trying to center it. Stemkowski after it. Pass for Mahavlich. Krugel cleared it right to Stanley, and Stanley's shot stopped by Talbot, who cleared it out for Richard. Richard trying to go down the left wing. He's dumped by Horton. Goes to the boards. Ends up behind the net. Stanley to Mahavlich. For Stemkowski, Mahavlich is knocked down. Stemkowski lost it to Krugel. It goes to the right wing. Berenson shooting it back. Horton failed to get it out. Richard on the left wing, a pass, stop. Here's a chance for Harris, a shot. He broke his stick. Kicks it to Berenson, right in front of Provo, a shot. Horton trying to get out. Stemkowski shoots it off the boards. Mahavlich has it. Over the blue line. There's the shot, and that goes high, and it hits the glass. Talbot, clearing pass for Richard. Keon has it. Back to Brewer. A pass for Armstrong. Armstrong. Back to Keon. Keon failed to get away. McKinney moves up. He lost it. Back for Duff. Through for Talbot. That's offside. Two Leaf players go down. First Brewer and then Vaughn. The play was offside. 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first period. 3-1 for the Maple Leafs. On the face-off, it goes off the Perrier down the ice. He goes back for it behind the Montreal goal. Coming up with Beliveau. Too far for Jean Beliveau, and Brewer flips it right back. Rousseau waiting for Beliveau to get onside. Brewer intercepted that pass. He takes a flip shot, bounces wide. J.C. Tremblay for Duff. Stopped by Vaughn. And to Beliveau. Beliveau at center. Over the blue line. Missed a check from Vaughn. Fulford gets it out to Stewart. Stewart down at center. Over the blue line. Takes a backhand that was stopped by Worsley. Picked up. Bringing it up now for Montreal to center. Ran into Vaughn. Brewer to Fulford. Fulford's shot is going high and hit the clock. And that's the first one to break the penalty clock. There you see it between the 55 and the 50. That's what is known as out of the park. One minute and 14 seconds remaining in the first period. Here are the rooters for Montreal back at the north end of the left, below the penalty clocks. Long shot goes into the lead zone. Stanley after it. He's jammed against the boards by Backstrom, and there's no further play. A minute and 3 seconds remaining in the first period. 3-1 for the Maple Leafs. Of course, you'll see the 4 goals as part of the videotape highlights at the end of this period. It's McKenny, Keon, Armstrong, Horton, and Stanley. Backstrom, Balone, Roberts. Here's Roberts getting a chance. He lost it off his stick. Armstrong can't get it out. Horton shoots it down the ice. Doesn't have enough momentum to go to the red line, and Talbot. A pass to Roberts. Here he comes down at center, over the blue line. He's checked by Armstrong, who cleared it out to center. Talbot, a pass to Roberts. Stopped by Armstrong. Armstrong with McKenny. They're closing in together. McKenny stops. And he passes back to Horton, who is at center ice. Horton nearly checked. Takes a long shot. Worsley tipped it to the corner. Kenny lets it go. Stanley over to Armstrong. Armstrong takes a shot. That's wide. McKenny again to Stanley. His shot deflects in front. Harris, Montreal clearing it out with 8 seconds left. Horton takes a long shot. That's wide. Talbot back for it in front of his own net. Shot it right to Keon. Keon shot, and he broke his stick. As the bell goes to end the first period. And the score at the end of the first period is Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Montreal Canadiens 1. We're all set for the face-off now at center ice. Pulford will center for the Maple Leafs against Jean Beliveau, who has Russo on his right wing and Duff on the left. Perrier and J.C. Tremblay on the defense. Kelly and Stewart for the Leafs with Stanley and Horton. Pass ahead for Kelly, shot it into the Canadian zone. J.C. Tremblay shoots it out right to Stanley. He shoots it right back in again. Worsley stops it for J.C. Tremblay. A pass for Duff, stopped by Stewart. For Pulford, banged against the boards. Duff trying to get it out. Stewart keeps it in, then he's hit by Duff. And LaPerriere takes over. Jacques LaPerriere ahead to Dick Duff, number 8, going out over his own blue line to center. Takes a shot. Bauer stops it. Over to Stewart. Stewart against the boards to Horton. Horton bringing it out. Fails to get out. Russo tried to flip it for Duff. Stanley shoots at the center ice. J.C. Tremblay to LaPerriere. Over to Duff. Shooting it back into the Leaf zone. Pulford clearing it around for Kelly. Kelly stops. Cleared it out to center ice. Duff chased back by Pulford, but he gets away from him. Duff over the blue line. Kelly stopped it there. A pass to Stanley. Beliveau checks Stanley and shoots it right back in again behind Bauer. Horton back for it. Off the board. Stopped by Duff. And the Canadiens are really forechecking the Maple Leafs to start the second period. Horton. A pass to Pulford. Pulford up to center ice. His backhand goes to the corner. Kelly after it. J.C. Tremblay gets there first. Kelly took it away from him and passed it right onto Russo's stick. He's stopped by Brewer. Brewer shoots it back to Bond. Bond takes a long shot. J.C. Tremblay lost it to Keon, and he falls. Keon fell as he tried to get a backhand away. That comes Beliveau. His shot bounces. Bauer stops it, and McKenny's back for it. McKenny. A pass to Armstrong. Over for Keon. And Harris takes it off his stick and shoots it to Provo for Richard. Armstrong checked Richard, but Henri Richard gets it loose to Berenson. Shot it right to Brewer. McKenny. Harris bumps into McKenny. Brewer knocked it over past Berenson's stick. Ed Berenson. Watched by Keon. Provo hits the referee. McKenny shot it right onto Talbot's stick. Pass over for Provo. And Brewer's back for it. Cleared it around on the boards to Armstrong. Up for Keon. At center. Over the blue line. Back to McKenny. Back to Keon. He shoots. Back by Worsley. Provo clearing it. Barn gets the shot. Worsley kicked it out again. Henri Richard. Checked by Keon. John-Guy Talbot brings it up, though. Number 17 over to Berenson, number 23. Berenson's long shot is wide. Bauer stops it, shoots it right to Mahavlich, who cleared it for Armstrong. Armstrong fails to get it out. Talbot shot it. Brewer checked by Henri Richard. But the puck ended up still in the goal crease, then into the corner. Vaughn down the right wing. Cleared out to center right. Armstrong shooting it in. Mahavlich is way inside the blue line, and play is called, and it'll come back into the lead zone. There's the referee, number 3, John Ashley, the lineswinner, Matt Pavlich, number 7, and John D'Amico, number 24.
Speaking of Ashley, I think he's become the #1 official in the league. He handles the game well, never lets it get out of control, and the crowd never phases him.
All ready to go. Backstrom, there's a shot wide. LaRose and Ferguson on the wing. Played out to Mahavlich, but J.C. Tremblay is there to take over. He passed it. Ellis tipped it to Horton. Horton trying to get away from LaRose. He does. Coming up the center, a pass over for Mahavlich. Stamkowski tries to keep it in there. It goes out to LaRose, number 11 at center. He goes over the blue line, his shot, but it was offside as his shot went into the boards wide of Bauer. Offside at the blue line. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Montreal Canadiens 1 at the 3:47 mark of the second period. Stamkowski is hit by Ferguson. Shot back into the Leaf zone. Bauer stopping it. Horton trying to get away from Backstrom. Cleared it up for Ellis. He couldn't get to it. LaPerriere off the board. Backstrom going in with LaRose, and it hit a skate. Now then Stamkowski with Mahavlich over the line. And Stamkowski, who takes the pass, takes his backhand, and that goes off into the crowd. Not the Montreal player who was covering him. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Faceoff is in the Montreal zone to the left. Stamkowski into the corner. Centered it to Ellis, and he shot it wide. Mahavlich takes a shot. It comes around on the boards on this side. Horton lets it go. Stamkowski turns. Still has it, takes his shot, and that hit a leg. Ellis goes after it. He cleared it around on the boards again. Mahavlich, he's checked. Backstrom picking it up. Going down at center, gated off. Horton lost it. It comes in over the line. Play is called offside.
Well, we were talking about Stamkowski's weight and how he could take a check. He ran into a blind switch from Ferguson there. Came right back to set up 3 wonderful plays.
Okay, Red, we're all set for the face-off outside the Maple Leaf blue line. Bob Fulford with Ron Stewart and Red Kelly. Beliveau with Russo and Duff. Fulford clearing pass to a left wing. Kelly gets in on the left side. He shoots right in front. Fulford is covered. It goes to Talbot. Play is called, and there's going to be a penalty here. Montreal. The first penalty of the second period is Jean Beliveau.
Montreal penalty, number 4, Beliveau. 2 minutes for hold. The time 5:01.
5:01, a holding penalty. Fulford, Stewart, Kelly, Horton, and Douglas. And for the Canadiens, it's Talbot, Tremblay, LaPerriere, and Roberts. On the face-off, it's back to Horton. His shot hit Roberts. It's against the boards. Jim Roberts trying to get it out. Holds it there. And they all pile in for a face-off with Kelly, Fulford, Roberts, LaPerriere, and Talbot all there. Well, the face-off is just at the rim of the circle, as you can see, in Montreal territory. Canadians defending the south end of my right for this second period. The Leafs the north end of the left. Goes back to Jacques LaPerriere, and LaPerriere clears it off the boards. Douglas trying to keep it in. It's taken off his stick. Stewart going back, covers Roberts, and Horton goes to the corner. Roberts goes after him. Horton ahead for Kelly with Fulford. Over the line, Kelly getting set, and LaPerriere came racing over to cover up. It goes to Douglas. There's his shot. He breaks his stick. Cleared out and down the ice, and Horton has it. Up to Kelly. Over the line with Fulford. Takes his shot. Fulford goes to the corner. Back to Kelly. He lets it go to Douglas. His shot knocked down by LaPerriere, and Talbot has it. Clearing pass ahead to LaPerriere. Over the blue line. Shot it back, and it just got to J.C. Tremblay, who handed it to Kelly, and Kelly had it hop over his stick. Douglas to Horton. Up for Stewart. Offside from inside the blue line over the red line. And we've played 6 minutes and 13 seconds of the second period. We have had no report as yet from Chicago in the game between the Red Wings and the Blackhawks. It's 3-1 here for the Maple Leafs. On the face-off, Red Berenson, number 23, passing it back to J.C. Tremblay. He shoots it down the ice, and there's 38 seconds left on the penalty to Jean Beliveau. Tim Horton. Up for Keon. Over the blue line. There's his shot, wide. The rebound, Horton after it. There's his shot, and that's wide. Comes back to Douglas. Into McKinney. Back to Douglas. There's the shot. Horton, a backhand Armstrong. There's his shot, and that was stopped. Keon from behind the net, getting out in front, takes a whack at it. McKinney centered it. Armstrong back to Douglas. There's the shot, and that deflects across the goal mouth. McKinney back for Douglas. Douglas shot it in behind the net. Armstrong has it. Back to McKinney. McKinney from behind the net. Check. Keon gets a hold of it. Getting right in front. Takes his shot. Armstrong a whack at it. It goes to the corner. Armstrong back for Douglas. He shot it into the corner. Perrier shoots it out. It's tipped up. Believou's got a breakaway. Already on goal. He shoots. Oh, and Bauer just checked it off his stick. Now it's Keon over the line. Fakes the shot. McKinney takes his drive, and Worsley stopped that. Canadians, a clearing pass for Russo to Beliveau again to Berenson. Cutting in from the left side. Howard stopped it on the short side. Bond went flying into the board. Armstrong ahead to Mahamovich. At center. He shoots. Oh, that was whistling by Worsley, and he puts it into the corner. Comes back to Brewer. There's his shot. Worsley kicked it out. Bond moves up, and it's outside at the blue line. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
You know, Bill, the thing that makes Johnny Bauer the greatest goaltender in the world is a save like he made on Beliveau there.
On the face-off, Brewer shooting the puck down into the Canadian zone. Worsley stops it for Talbot. Talbot, a pass ahead for Richard. Stopped by Bond for Stemkowski and Ellis. Stemkowski keeps it in, took a shot, another shot, and that goes to Talbot. Ahead to Provo. Provo over the blue line. Right to Talbot. He's waiting on goal. He was checked from behind. Goes back to Harris. His shot to Provo. Another shot goes wide. Dave Ballone trying to center it. Brewer picks it up in the corner, shoots it off Mahavlich, but not out. Richard takes his shot. That deflects. Bauer gets a hold of it. Play is called, and here's a penalty. And this time it's to the Maple Leafs. It'd be Bob Bond for holding.
Toronto penalty to number 21, Bond. 2 minutes for interference. The time, 8:45.
8:45, an interference penalty. So the faceoff goes in the circle to the left of Johnny Bauer, and it's Beliveau, Henri Richard, Clyde Provo, Bobby Rousseau, Jacques Laperriere, Fulford, Stewart, Horton, and Stanley. And from the faceoff, Provo back to Rousseau, back to Provo. He's coming from the right wing. There's the shot in front, and Beliveau couldn't reach it. Stewart shooting it down the ice. Rousseau back for it. Bobby Russo starting out now, leading a three-man rush for the Canadiens. A long shot off the board, ends up behind the net. Hooper clearing it, but Richard intercepted his pass. Played it right to Russo. There's a shot. It hit Pulford. It's cleared over here for LaPerriere. He lets one go. He scores! It deflects into the net on a shot by LaPerriere. Here's the replay of it. Goes over to Russo, his shot. Then it comes over here, and LaPerriere lets it go, and it deflected right through Bauer's legs. And that puts Montreal right back in the game. Goal was scored with Bob Bard in the penalty box.
Montreal goal scored by number 2, LaPerriere. Assist, number 15, Russo, and number 16, Richard. The time, 9:20.
9:20 is the time. 3-2 now in favor of the Maple Leafs. Russo with Harris clearing it on the wing. Knocked back to Talbot. Armstrong of the Leafs at center. A pass over to McKinney, to Keon, going in with Armstrong. He tried to center it, and it was broken up. Cleared to Talbot. Talbot up at center ice. Over the blue line to Belleville. He clears it back to Duff. His shot hit a leg, and it goes to the far wing. Cleared behind the net, Bob Vaughn. He's checked by Belleville. Belleville centered it. Russo trying to get his shot. He chopped it right in front, and Armstrong has it. To McKinney. Back to Armstrong. Over to Keon. Keon getting in on the left wing, and he passes it behind McKinney. McKinney hits it. Vaughn misses it. Russo coming down at center over the blue line with Duff. Belleville moving up. Keon stopped him. Armstrong gets a hold of it. Ahead to McKinney. Kenny over to Vaughn. Takes a long shot, and that deflects into the corner. It's Richard on the right wing. Stopped by Mahavlich. He and Stemkowski. Mahavlich shoots, and that is knocked back into the corner again. He has it again. He hit Harris. Centered it for Ellis. Picked off by Backstrom. Backstrom down the ice, over the blue line. Covered by Horton. Ellis against the boards, and there's no further play.
So Blake was discussing LaPerriere. He said he had one of the most vicious shots from the point on a slap shot, but he only hits the net once every 300 times. Well, he certainly hit it the right time tonight.
Right, Red, and we're all set for the face-off in the Maple Leafs zone to the right. Richard, Provo, and Ballone. Stemkowski clearing pass. Provo handed it right to Stanley. Stanley shot it out to center ice. J.C. Tremblay. Pass over for Ballone. Clearing it in for Richard. Stanley behind the net to Horton. Horton coming out. Pass to Mahavlich. Up at center. Takes the shot. It's another try. Stemkowski trying to center it. And Ballone. He's checked right in front of the net. Stemkowski trying to get his shot. Mahavlich after it in the corner. Back to Horton. His shot is knocked down in front of the net. Ellis goes after it. Mahavlich against the board, and there's no further play.
What if Jacques Laperriere has scored, and the Montreal Canadiens have narrowed the margin now to 3-2 midway through period number 2. Frank Selke Jr. is our guest. We've heard from the players, obviously, and with only 6 teams in the league, the animosity that grew between organizations is well documented. Maybe the greatest sports rivalry, never mind hockey, just sports rivalry, Montreal-Toronto National Hockey League. Obviously, the two guys standing behind the bench with the fedoras would be very much into kindling that kind of animosity between teams. But was it a personal thing between the two of them, Toe Blake and Punch Imlach?
They weren't pals, I can tell you that.
And they must have gone back a long way, too.
Well, they did. It was not so much personal, although that was part of it. Punch had been a playing coach in Quebec with the Quebec Aces. Toe had been the coach of the Valleyfield Braves after he retired, and they didn't get along very well even then. But listen, this is a Leaf broadcast series. Everybody that's watching this knows the kind of guy that Punch was. He was acerbic, had a sharp tongue, didn't mind laying into people. Insults flew, not only just to his players, but to everybody. And he and Toe had some mighty verbal battles over time. And one of the all-time classics, I think, was in the '67 series a little bit later on, where Punch made some mention of that Canadians were not going to win with a junior B goalie.
We'll get you out that show.
Yeah,
Yep.
and those kinds of things really bothered Toe. Toe was the classic kind of guy that minded his business, went about preparing his team, and he really didn't like talking to the media very much. Let my players do that. Punch was exactly the opposite. And, they say there's no I in team, but Punch
There's
was
an I
Punch.
in Imlach.
There was an I in Imlach. And
Now, what was Toe like in the dressing room? And as far as, was he an authoritative? Was he a dictator? Was it? I guess back then they were all in a similar
Well,
situation. Of course, he'd been a player, a great player with the Canadiens earlier on in his career.
he was blessed with great players throughout his coaching career. So it wasn't often that he had to crack the whip, but he was very good at reminding people what they owed to the game, what they owed to themselves, what they owed to the CH, the same as to the Maple Leaf. And he could get nasty if he had to, but it wasn't his nature to be that way. He was very competitive. You could see Toe walking around the room. He wouldn't have to say a lot. The glare, the grinding of the teeth, and those kinds of things, it was pretty obvious that we better do better the next period or we're going to be in trouble. He was, I think, a very solid coach. I believe, as far as I'm concerned, the best I ever saw. Scotty has the record.
Yes, he does,
And, if you don't believe in that, why do we keep score? So I guess Scotty's got to rank right there. But I liked Toe as a person. He was a great guy, and he was very easy to work with. Being a television guy, Toe, I need this. Toe, I need that. Will you do this? He was always very, very helpful. So I suspect that Punch was kind of the same here if you approached him the right way.
My dad played hockey with Toe up and around Sudbury.
There you go.
Yep,
Yeah.
from Coniston.
Coniston?
Yes, indeed.
Good for you.
Great man. Toe Blake and Punch Imlach. A little look behind the bench as the Canadians have scored to make it 3-2. Let's go back upstairs to Bill Hewitt.
Hopeford missed him with a body check. Jim Roberts now over the line, takes his shot, it hit Brewer, there's back from getting his chance to Roberts. And the shot was deflected wide. Vaughn goes to the boards and holds it there for a face-off with the Montreal Canadiens carrying the play to the Maple Leafs.
Canadians are beating Leafs to the puck in this period. They're outskating them. They're moving that puck very well.
That's right, Red. They're really moving on getting into free swing skating there. It's from the face-off. Pulford trying to get it out. Backstrom against the board. Also Roberts. Pulford who went down. Then Roberts bumped Pulford again. Then Pulford and Roberts start bumping one another. And Bond gets into it along with John Ferguson.
Apparently, referee John Ashley decided to let them let off a little steam.
Okay. Ready to go for the face-off now to the left of Johnny Bauer. Here's back. Roberts takes his shot. Bauer catches it and holds it for a face-off. 7 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the second period. Brewer to Stewart. Up to Kelly on the back of his skate. Robert shoots it into the lead zone. That's offside. 6 minutes, 43 seconds. Remaining in the second period, and Moore comes out now with Keon and Armstrong. Stanley and Horton. On the face-off, it goes over to the wing. Duff shooting it into the lead zone, and it's stopped there by Bauer to Horton. Horton stopped by Russo. Russo shot it behind the net again, and Horton starts down the right side, getting out. He's hooked and knocked down. There's going to be a penalty here. Armstrong hit Beliveau. It goes back into the Leaf zone, and Moore goes after it. The Leafs have 6 attackers. Plays it to Armstrong. Up to Keon with Stewart. One man back. Back to Stewart. Stewart shoots. And it went across the goal mouth. Play is called. And there's going to be a penalty here to Montreal. John Beliveau gets his second penalty of this second period.
Montreal penalty to number 4, Beliveau. 2 minutes for cooking. The time 13:56.
13:56 is the time.
You saw there, Bill, what can happen when that goalkeeper comes out for an odd man. One of those attempted passes hit Russo, and if it had gone straight, it could have been in the net and a goal.
Now ready to go on the face-off. It's cleared down the ice. Douglas back for it. Behind the net. Coming out with Moore. He had to turn around. Over the blue line. Up for Keon. Over the blue line. Back to Moore. Moore takes his shot, and Worsley deflects it up into the crowd. Face off in the Montreal zone to the right. 3-2 for the Maple Leafs with 5 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in this second period. And back goes Horton for it. Beliveau has 1 minute and 30 seconds left in his penalty. Horton. Past Armstrong. Down the right wing. Over the blue line. He stops. Left it there, and Talbot gets back to clear it down the ice. Armstrong leaves the ice, and Ellis is out there. Douglas to Moore. Dickie Moore at center. Over for Keon. Keon racing after it. Goes behind the net. Still has it. Centered it right in front to Douglas. He shoots. Moore missed the rebound. Douglas lets another one go. Keon shoots. Oh, and Worsley came across the goal mouth and made the save. Douglas to Moore. To Keon. Keon over the line. J.C. Tremblay stopped him, and it shot down the ice. 40 seconds left in the penalty to Beliveau. Up the ice for Horton. Ahead to Ellis. Shot it through. J.C. Tremblay clears it right out again. Douglas. For Mahavlich. He's checked by Provo. His pass right on the Horton stick. Horton takes a long one, and that's stopped by Worsley. Mahavlich after the rebound. Goes behind the net, into the corner. Tried to leave it there. Mahavlich still has it to Stamkowski. Right in front. Ellis took a whack at it. Another shot. Worsley gets a hold of it and holds it out. And there's a second remaining in the penalty to Beliveau. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Face-off will be in the circle to the right of Gump Worsley. Stamkowski, Mahavlich, Ellis, Brewer, and Bond. Harris, Provo, Talbot, and LaPerriere. And from the face-off, Talbot picks it up. Beliveau is back on the ice. Mahavlich takes it away. Then he's checked, and Beliveau has it. John Beliveau, a long shot wide. The rebound to Carl Brewer. Shoots it off the boards to center. Jacques Laperriere shoots it back in again. Brewer back for it. Brewer. A pass to Ellis. Ellis down the right wing. Over the line. There's his shot. That's wide. Brewer tried to keep it in, but it's knocked back down the ice, and Vaughn there. Vaughn nowhere near Mahavlich. Talbot. Pass to Berenson. Shot by Brewer. Ellis shoots it back into the Canadian zone. And it's handed to Mahavlich. Over the line. He tried to get loose. And Provo shoots it back out over the blue line. Brewer waits to get onside and then flips one that's caught by Worsley. Talbot coming out now for Montreal. Up he comes to center. Shot it over the line, and it goes over the glass into the exit on the far side. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Montreal Canadiens 2, with 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the second period.
Mahavlich has been tremendous when he has that puck, but when he hasn't got that puck, he's making mistakes defensively and getting them into a little trouble.
Henri Richard with Red Berenson and Claude Provo, Jacques Laperriere, and J.C. Tremblay. Fulford, Stewart, Kelly, Stanley, and Horton. Henri Richard over to Provo for Berenson. Ends up on this right wing, Stewart. Clearing it down the ice. Laperriere's pass. Hanley knocked it off the boards. Berenson knocked it back right on the Fulford stick. He passed it right to Berenson, who's checked by Fulford. Cleared back into the length zone. Henri Richard has shot, and that's wide. Stewart. Too far for Fulford. Now then Stanley and Richard shoving one another. J.C. Tremblay clears it into the lead zone. Power cleared it off the board. Stewart passed it right on a Provo's stick. Provo gets away from Stewart, tried to center it. Henri Richard cleared it back, and Stewart has it. Ahead to Fulford. And Kelly over the line. They're closing in. Kelly shot it, and Stewart just failed to get the rebound. Back goes Berenson. A long pass for Provo on the left side. Going in with Richard. Centered it, and Richard took his shot, and Kelly gets it. Kelly with Fulford and Armstrong. Over the line. Kelly cutting in. Tried to center it, and it's broken up, and Provo comes back. A long pass for Richard, and Horton gets it. Horton for Armstrong. Covered by Duff. Goes back into the lead zone, and Brewer. To Moore. Back to Brewer. Down with Keon. Over the line. Brewer waits. He's hit hard by Harris. Russo trying to get away. Moore. Lost it. Vaughn moves up. His pass ends up on Russo's stick. Russo takes a long shot, and that just missed the corner. Vaughn. Off the board. Harris jams Keon. Goes back to Talbot. Over here to Duff. Over the line to Beliveau. Beliveau centered it, and it goes to Keon. For Moore. He lets it go down the ice as Harris hit Dickie Moore. Clearing pass goes back into the lead zone, and Vaughn has it. Up to Armstrong, and he shot it down the ice. Beliveau and Vaughn bumped in together. A pass for Beliveau. John Beliveau. Clearing it to an open wing. Brewer goes back. Shoots it off the boards, but not out. Bobby Russo to Duff. He shoots it, and Howard makes the save and throws out the cover up. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Montreal Canadiens 2. The 1933 mark, 27 seconds left in this second period.
This is a big face-off. This is where the Canadian club is most dangerous. And you notice they sent Russo, who's very good on this side of the ice, in to take it and moving Beliveau back for that big shot.
Okay, Red. Canadians have Laperriere and Harris playing inside the blue line. It's Duff, Beliveau, and Russo, with Russo taking the face-off with Stemkowski. Ellis and Stemkowski trying to get it out. They flip it down the ice, and Harris goes back for it with 21 seconds remaining in this second period. Puck hit the linesman. Beliveau then feeds the pass to Duff. Shot it in, a bouncer, caught by Bauer, and Horton's back. Horton. Going behind the net. Trying to bring it out, does slowly. And it's shot out to over the blue line. And then Douglas and Duff start swinging at one another. Richard with Provo, Jacques Laperriere, and J.C. Tremblay. And it goes back to Bond, over to Ellis. Ellis to Mahavlich, over the blue line. Tried to pass it back. It goes out. Bond brings it in offside. Face off outside the blue line. Goes back to J.C. Tremblay, over to Laperriere. Back to J.C. Tremblay. He comes out over the blue line to center. Stopped by Brewer. Brewer goes back over the blue line. Shot it to the right wing. Ellis knocking it down with his glove. Goes behind the net. Still has it. Back to Brewer. Off the boards to Bond. Bond takes a shot, and Mahavlich just deflected it wide. Mahavlich on the side, into the corner. Keeps it in, is dumped. And Richard and Ellis bump together, and Jacques Laperriere coming back down the ice for Montreal. To center, pass for Richard. Ellis knocks it down, fails to get it out. Provo gets his shot. Bauer juggled it, knocked it down into his pads, and holds it out. Stanley, Horton, Kelly, and Fulford coming out now, and the Canadian stand pat. Oh, they're going to make a change. Coming out is Ralph Backstrom and Jim Roberts.
So Blake likes to keep lots of defensive strength out there when Red Kelly is on the ice. Kelly is the past master at breaking for opportunities on goal in this kind of a situation.
Well, they send Ted Harris, Red, along with Gungy Talbot. On the face-off, it comes back to Harris. His shot is wide. It bounced right in front of the net. It goes over to the far wing. Talbot shot it back into the corner. Stanley after it. Stanley pokes it loose. Kelly is hit by Harris and knocked flat. Fulford tried to get the puck loose. Back for Backstrom. He gets away from Fulford. Over the line, stopped by Horton. Horton to Stanley. Up for Fulford, and it ends up on Talbot's stick. Pass to Roberts. Back to Talbot. He gets it over the line to Backstrom. Backstrom takes his shot. Bauer stops that. Roberts is right there. Bauer holds onto it. Roberts protects Bauer, as you notice, by holding his glove on the top of the crossbar.
That's one reason Johnny gets annoyed when the players barge into him. He says he always tries to keep them away from those posts, and he'd like a little protection, too.
Well, I think that time he got it. Ready for the face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. Backstrom facing off with Todd Fulford. Goes back to Stanley. Stanley behind the Leaf goal. A pass to Horton. Horton stops, turns around in his own zone. Back to Stanley. Up to Fulford. Fulford racing after it. Trying to center it. He did. Right to Kelly. Right in on goal. He shoots. Oh, and he's knocked down as Worsley made the save. Kelly went into the boards. Play is called. Face-off will be in the Montreal zone to the right. Both teams are changing players. Beliveau, Russo, Duff, J.C. Tremblay, Jacques Laperriere, Keon Armstrong, Brewer, and Vaughn. Shot knocked down in front of the Montreal goal. Worsley cleared it off to the wing. Armstrong shot it across the goal mouth. Moore fakes his shot. Tried to center it. It hit Keon's skate. Beliveau clearing it to Duff. Duff down the left wing, checked by Keon. Armstrong. His shot. Keon went after it. It's knocked out over the blue line. Moore gets a hold of it from Bond. Over the line, a pass to Keon. Takes his shot, and that was wide. Brewer lets one go. Worsley snapped down. Armstrong a backhand. Another shot. Keon trying to get it in front. Played to Moore. Moore getting in front of the net. Gets a backhand. Keon let it go. Right in front. Moore's knocked down. Comes out over the blue line. Duff hit by Bourne. Keon turns. At center. Over the blue line. Stops. Left it there for Armstrong. Over to Brewer. Brewer, right to Armstrong. He shoots. Worsley stopped it. Keon a shot. Armstrong another one. Right in front of the net. And Worsley covers up. On the face-off, Ellis took his shot. Here's Stemkowski a try. It goes behind the net. He centered it right in front. Talbot knocked it right back again. Back up the ice for Talbot. Pass over to Provo. Back to Richard, the shot, and Bauer stopped it. Into the boards, went below. Havlich. Up for Stemkowski. Gets it over the line. Goes after it. Talbot took him into the boards. Ted Harris. A pass to Richard. Over here on the right wing for Provo. Trying to go in, and he's hit by Stanley. Stanley went down. Ellis. Bearing it for Mahavlich. He's checked by Richard. Havlich goes into the corner after it. Ran into Provo. Against the boards. Richard digs it out. He comes from the side, centered it, and that just missed the open corner. It's Ellis getting it out, racing after it. Harris shot it off the board. Stemkowski checked by Richard for Ballone, and Stanley shoots it down the ice. Talbot, a pass off the boards. Mahavlich goes down. Stemkowski's pass intercepted. Richard over the blue line with Ballone. Back to Provo, the shot. Bauer stops it and holds onto it for a face-off. And Horton and Ballone start bumping. And we've played 4 minutes and 27 seconds of the third period. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, Montreal Canadiens 2.
They're giving Mr. Ballone a lot of attention. They don't like the way he goes into the goalkeeper when after he has frozen the puck. One thing about David, he doesn't back up. He stays in there and battles.
For sure. Ralph Backstrom, Ferguson, Roberts, Harris, and Talbot. Hopeford, Stewart, Kelly, Brewer, and Bond. On the face-off, Roberts to Harris. Harris trying to get set for a shot. Ferguson let it go, and it goes to the corner. Backstrom and Brewer bump together. Hopeford missed a check from Ferguson. It's cleared right in front of the net. It goes to the far side. Stewart hits Roberts. Backstrom digs it out to Ferguson, and he fanned on a shot. Brewer to Hopeford. Off the boards to Kelly. Kelly stopped by Talbot. Now it's Backstrom. Over the line. Watched by Brewer. Still has it. Gets his shot away. They're right on the goal line. And Bauer holds it out. Ferguson's in the goal crease behind Bauer. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. With Armstrong and Keon. Beliveau there with Duff and Russo. It came in front. Dickie Moore bringing it out. Cleared it out to Keon. Keon shoots the puck into the Canadian zone. Worsley let it go. Armstrong trying to center it to Keon. He's checked by Beliveau. Beliveau, a clearing pass for Bob Russo. He missed the check from Stanley, and it was shot for Beliveau back into the Leaf zone. Armstrong is bumped by Belleville. It's against the boards, no further play. There were 6 penalties in the first period, ended up by referee John Ashley, 3 apiece, and we had 5 in the second period, 3 to Montreal and 2 to the Leafs. Keon, Kelly, Ferguson, and Ellis scoring in the first period, and Jacques Laperriere in the second. The Leafs are leading 3-2 at the 5:30 mark of this third period. And from the face-off, Belleville turns with a backhand. There's another shot, and that was wide off the stick of Russo. Moore tips it out over the blue line. Russo tries to bring it back. He turns, shoots it over the line. Horton stopped it. He's checked. Duff trying to get into the left wing. His shot was weak. It goes to the corner. Play is called, and there's going to be a penalty here to the Maple Leafs. Duff was held along the boards going in on the left side. And now Montreal will have an odd man. 6 men to 5. Armstrong going to the penalty box. First penalty of this third period. Armstrong of the Leafs.
Toronto penalty to number 10, Armstrong. 2 minutes for holding. The time, 5:50.
5:50 is the time. Montreal Canadiens with a man advantage, and they have Belleville, Provo, Richard, Russo, and Laperriere. Leafs with Pulford, Ellis, Brewer, and Bond. All ready for the face-off. In the Leaf zone to the right. Ellis facing off with Belleville. Gets the draw to Bond. Bond shot it around. Ellis can't get it out. Laperriere shot, and that just whistled wide. Pulford goes after it down the ice, and Provo checked him. It's cleared. Pulford goes after it as Russo fell. Cleared it right in front, and Ellis couldn't get his shot, and Laperriere has hurt himself. He went flying into the boards. Laperriere is down. Can't understand what the fans are booing about. He went flying into the boards head first.
Yes, and he could be pretty badly hurt. I believe he went in off balance. He had no chance to protect himself. Usually they manage to get an arm up, but he was making such a desperate effort to get back to cover Pulford, and he just lost his balance. He's been playing an excellent hockey game for them, too.
There's another example of that extra effort, Red.
That's right.
Pulford, Ellis, Brewer, and Bond. Canadians have Jean-Guy Talbot back with Russo now. Belleville, Provo, and Richard. The pass to Belleville. Back to Russo. Here he comes to center ice. He shoots it into the Leaf zone. It goes behind the net. Ellis races in after it. Provo checks him. Provo trying to center it. He did to Russo. There's the shot. It's score! Tommy Russo picks the bottom right-hand corner. And it's all tied up. 3-3. There's the replay of it. Beautiful shot by Bobby Russo. There's Russo, and it's in the net. That ties it up 3-3. Montreal.
Scored by number 15, Russo. Assist, number 14, Provo, and number 4, Belleville. The time, 6:27.
6:27, Bobby Russo from Provo and Belleville, and it's all tied up. 3-3. On the face-off, to Horton. Shot it over for Ellis off his skate. It went down the ice. Ellis races after it. Harris touches it, and that's icing. Now here's Ron Andrews with a report from Chicago.
Hello.
Face-off will be in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. The score is tied 3-3. Goes back to Horton. Horton trying to get out. Malone checked him. Horton back again. Horton pass up for Stamkowski, and it goes to Harris. Harris shooting it right back in for Montreal. Now it's Horton. He's checked. Richard to Provo. The shot, and that hit Horton's skate. It's cleared right in front. Douglas is knocked down. Harris takes his shot to Richard right in front of Provo. Another shot. And it's picked off by Stankowski. He's checked. Douglas back for it. Behind the net, trying to bring it out. Douglas, pass to Mahavlich. Here's the shot, and that's high into the crowd. End of the second period at Chicago. It's the Blackhawks 1 and the Red Wings nothing. Score is tied here, 3-3 at the 7:22 mark of the third period. All set for the face-off. Goes back to J.C. Tremblay to Ted Harris, coming up the center. Shattered into the lead zone. It's wide. Stemkowski back for it. Covered by Richard. Goes loose to Horton. Horton. Failing to get it out. Gets away from Balloon. Off the boards for Mahavlich. And to Stemkowski. Over the line to Ellis. Ellis is checked by Richard. Back comes Richard. Over the blue line. It's up past the Provo and it's offside. Bauer came out to cover Richard to make sure he didn't go into the post.
The big difference in the teams at this point is the movement of pucks. Canadians are moving that puck head manning it, and Leafs aren't. LaPerriere has a broken left ankle. That's very sad news.
On the face-off, Bond scoops it with his glove to the wing. Played by Russo into the corner. Brewer to Dickie Moore. Off the boards for Keon. He can't get it out. There's a shot. Bauer stopped that. Belleville centered it out in front. Keon in his own zone. Over to Bond. Up for Keon. And it deflects off his stick into the crowd. 11 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the third period. A 3-3 tie. On the faceoff, Moore. Over to Bond. Out over the blue line. Up the center. Shot knocked down by Talbot. To Russo. Over the blue line. Brewer knocked it out. Belleville brought it in offside. Score is tied, 3-3.
Canadians are fortunate they have Talbot around. He can play on the wing or defense, and he certainly won't weaken them back there.
On the faceoff, Belleville and Keon, and Harper runs into Keon. Over the line for Talbot, closing in with a shot, and that's wide. Armstrong can't get it out. Belleville knocked it out over the blue line, goes after it. Played back into the lead zone, and Brewer goes back for it. Brewer to Moore. Back to Brewer. He just gets rid of it to center ice. Canadians coming back. Harper's shot hit Brewer. Russo to Belleville. Belleville off the board. Stopped by Keon. Keon trying to get out of his own zone. Gets away from Russo. Up the center. Over the line with Moore. He let it go off his skate. Maxstrom covers Keon. Knocked off the board. Brewer moved up, and it's a flex with Duff into the crowd. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. 10 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third period. A 3-3 tie. Fulford, Kelly, Stewart, Douglas, and Horton. Horton takes his shot. Where's he? Stopped it with his glove. Fulford tried to center it. It goes into the corner, and Jim Roberts brings it back with Backstrom and Ferguson. Over the blue line. A pass for Backstrom. He shoots it. Fowler stops it again on the rebound. Face-off will be back in the Leaf zone. Bauer coming out of his net. And he ejected to Ferguson, cruising in front of that net again. Now then, Bauer says something to the referee. Face-off is in the lead zone to the right. The score is tied 3-3. On the face-off. Shot to the blue line, but not out. Ted Harris takes his shot. That's wide. Tim Robertson's drive. Bauer stopped it. And Horton goes to the corner. Horton ahead to Kelly. A long pass goes into the Canadian zone. Ferguson back. He's hit by Stewart. Coming down the ice, Backstrom, checked by Popert. And there's a penalty there to Stewart. And that'll give Montreal the man advantage. And they've been deadly while they've had a man advantage.
Stewart got suckered into that. Fergie did it when he went in on Bauer, and the Leafs became annoyed and went back at him.
Toronto penalty to number 12, Stewart. 2 minutes for Borden. The time 10:05.
10:05, a boarding penalty, and the Leafs are shorthanded. And Belleville, Richard, Provo, Talbot, and Russo. Keon, Armstrong, Bone, and Brewer. Belleville, Provo, Richard, Talbot, Russo. All set to go. It goes back to Talbot. Over to Bobby Russo. To Belleville. Belleville coming up the ice to center. He's checked by Vaughn. Keon tried to get loose. Belleville to Henri Richard. Richard clearing it over the line. Keon gulps it out again. Bobby Russo with it. Over to Talbot. To Belleville. Bearing it into Richard. Standing it right in front. It goes across the goal mouth. Provo back to Russo. His shot knocked down by Brewer. Brewer's knocked down. Here's Provo a shot. And Bauer stopped that one from point-blank range. As both Vaughn and Brewer were knocked down. Puck is dropped. Vaughn shooting it down the ice. Stewart is back on again. He goes after it. It's called. And the faceoff comes back into the Leaf zone. It's an icing call, so the faceoff goes to the circle. Now it's Stemkowski, Mahavlich, Ellis, Vaughn, and Brewer. And the Canadiens are going to make a change and send out Henri Richard, Dave Ballone, Claude Provo, Harper, and Talbot. On the faceoff, Vaughn. Clearing pass down the right wing. Going back forward is Harper. To touch it, icing is called against the Leafs.
The big question now, Bill, is that have Leafs got enough legs to stay with this club? The Canadiens are moving.
Faceoff will be in the circle to the right of Johnny Bauer. On the faceoff, Stemkowski clearing it out from Mahavlich with Ellis. Too far. Ellis races after it. Play is called, and it's icing.
Big Frank had been accurate with that pass. We might have had a new ball game again.
Face-off back in the Leaf zone to the left. It's shot right across to the far side. Ellis after it. For Stemkowski, broken up. Ellis up for Mahavlich. To Stemkowski. Trying to shoot it over to Ellis. Cleared out by Provo to Richard. Over the line for Provo. Back to Ballone. And his shot was blocked before he could let it go. Ellis to Mahavlich. Ellis following up over the blue line. Fakes the shot. Centered it right in front. Stemkowski took a whack at it. Provo didn't see it. And Stemkowski knocked off stride. Back come the Canadians. A pass to Ballone over the line. Ballone back to Richard. Fans on his shot. Mahavlich gets it out. Angie Talbot away from Stemkowski, handing it right to Ellis, and he shot it right to Talbot as the teams change players on the go. Russo gets around Brewer, takes his shot. Bauer stopped it. Cleared it to the corner. Stemkowski after it. There's Harper's shot, and that's wide. It rebounds to the left wing. Cleared on this side. Kelly. Ahead for Stemkowski. Going over the line. Stemkowski couldn't get loose. Cleared up to Duff. Duff with Russo. They're over the blue line. Duff takes his shot, and Horton scooped it in behind the goal and has it himself. Horton. A pass for Pulford. Pulford at center. Over to Kelly. Kelly takes his shot. Worsley steered it. Stewart centered it right in front. Kelly after it. Knocked it behind the net. Pulford lets it go to Stewart. Back to Pulford. He shot it in front of the net. Stewart a backhand. That's wide. Pulford to Stewart. Back to Horton. He's checked by Beliveau, and the puck goes to center. Douglas over to Horton. Ahead for Kelly, but Beliveau was there. Then Duff lost it in front of his own net. And it goes to the corner. Stewart clearing it right out to Russo. Russo with Beliveau. Beliveau down over the blue line. Back for Duff. He missed it. Pulford comes back down the ice for the Leafs. Over to Kelly, over the line. And Kelly's checked. And it goes down the left wing. Ferguson and Beliveau. Play is called. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
This is a pretty rough spot for an old fellow like Bathgate, you know, and he's not warmed up at all. He's been sitting over there for so long.
On the face-off, Bathgate. Clearing the puck into the Canadian zone. J.C. Tremblay back for it. Watched by Mahavlich against the boards, and they hold it there for a face-off. Face-off is in the Montreal zone to the left. A minute and 42 seconds left in the penalty to Dave Balloon. Score is tied 3-3. Kelly facing off with Jim Roberts. Mahavlich back to Horton. Horton had it knocked off the skate out the center. It's Talbot in possession. Dragging the puck. He's checked. Bathgate. Getting over the line, back to Mahavlich. Mahavlich for Bathgate. Trying to center it. J.C. Tremblay cleared it to the corner. It hit the referee. Horton after it. Harris goes to the boards, holds it there, and there's no further play.
Horton made a couple of great moves there. If they'd have got that puck by him early, it could have been a breakaway.
Keon coming out. Keon, Kelly, and Bathgate now on the right wing. Mahavlich being replaced. Douglas and Horton. A minute and 11 seconds remaining in the penalty to Dave Balloon. Roberts, Talbot, and from the face-off, Bathgate centered it right in front of the net. J.C. Tremblay almost banned on clearing it down the ice, but Keon didn't expect it. Horton back. Horton leading a four-man rush with Kelly. A pass to Keon over the line. Keon takes his shot. That's wide. Bathgate for Horton. That goes out over the line, and Roberts has got a break. One man back. J.C. Tremblay catching up with him. Roberts left it, and Kelly has it. Up for Keon. Keon over the line with Bathgate, and it's offside.
I see where Malavers are beating Niagara Falls 2-1. Maybe that's an indicator.
1 minute and 23 seconds remaining in the Regulation time. Keon, Mahavlich, Ellis, Vaughn, and Brewer, and there's 38 seconds left in the penalty to Dave Ballone. Carl Brewer with Ellis. Long shot off the board. Ellis goes in after, takes his shot, and it was cleared to the blue line. Vaughn lets one go, and that's wide. Brewer moves up. Shot it to Keon. He let it go to J.C. Tremblay, and he clears it down the ice.
Last minute of the play in this period.
Less than a minute to go in the third period. Score is tied, 3-3. A pass ahead to Ellis. Ellis to Mahavlich over the line. Mahavlich shoots. Ellis gets it in front. A shot. J.C. Tremblay goes to the board. Malone is on the ice, and they hold it there for a face-off in the Montreal zone to the left. 40 seconds remaining in regulation time. Holford, Stewart, Kelly, Beliveau, Russo, J.C. Tremblay, Guy Talbot, and Claude Provo. Now then, Russo's replaced by Provo. So it's Harris, J.C. Tremblay. Talbot has moved up to the left wing, so as Red pointed out, he's double duty for the Montreal player. Harris covered by Kelly along the boards. Kelly gets it out, comes from the side, takes his shot. Worsley stopped that. Harris clearing it to the blue line by Vaughn to center. Brewer shooting it off the boards. At center, Stewart knocked it over the line. J.C. Tremblay over to Ted Harris. Cleared it up. Stewart knocked it right on the Provo stick. Offside at the blue line. There's the time, 1946 of this third period. The score is tied, 3-3. Kelly shot it down. Harris stopped it. It's at the blue line. A pass for Talbot. He hit Kelly. Then J.C. Tremblay flips it over the line. Brewer gets a hold of it. The bell goes, and we're into overtime. And so the score after regulation time, Montreal Canadiens 3, Toronto Maple Leafs 3.
Well, scored in the third period at 6:27 from Claude Provo and Jean Beliveau, and we are going to overtime. And the Maple Leafs face elimination. They've not lost a series in the Stanley Cup playoffs since 1961 heading into this game. And Frank Selke, obviously, in the Montreal dressing room, they're bent on revenge for a couple of losses previously in previous years. In fact, in Game 6 in 1964, Dave Keon, who's already scored a goal here and scored an overtime winner in this series, had 3.
Always a dread in the Canadiens room. Let's do something with him, you know, chop him off at the knees or whatever. But let's face it, the Leafs have won 3 Stanley Cups in a row. They're the defending champions. Canadians are a little bit younger team. They've got to really push themselves here. I think maybe the interesting thing is they've got another chance. The Leafs don't. So I would think that the Leafs are going to come out here and really put the pressure on. If they can't win it, they're done. And so they're going to try.
All right. Well, we're going to sudden death overtime. Is there anything better than a Montreal-Toronto sudden death overtime game in the Stanley Cup playoffs? And let's go to Bill Hewitt.
We're all set to go. The referee, John Ashley, drops the puck, and Douglas clears it into the Canadian zone. J.C. Tremblay, number 3, a pass deflected by Stemkowski. He knocked it back. J.C. Tremblay again, a pass to Richard. Richard, a pass to Provo. Knocked down at the defense, and Stemkowski has it. A long shot. Worsley stopped it. Stemkowski trying to center it. Henri Richard gets away from Ellis. Clearing pass at center for Provo. Offside. the second goal for the Blackhawks was Bobby Hull from Matt Ravlich at 12:18, not Esposito. On the face-off, it goes back to Ted Harris. Pass to Richard. He gets it out on the right wing. Lavlich shoots it right back again. J.C. Tremblay overskates it. Backhands it out to Claude Provo at center ice. With Richard, stopped by Horton to Stemkowski. Pass from Mahavlich, and Provo is there. For Berenson, stopped by Douglas, Stemkowski. For Mahavlich on the left wing, and Provo. Coming back at center, a pass over to Richard. He flips a high one to Ted Harris, shooting it into the Leaf zone. Horton goes back for it. Horton picking his way out himself. With Stemkowski, a pass for Mahavlich over the line offside. They played a minute and 15 seconds of the first overtime.
Mr. M. Black did a little gambling there, Bill. He started his kids, the two rookies in Mahavlich. It's quite a spot to put them in.
Delaveau, Duff, and Russo against Keon, Armstrong, and Moore. Dickie Moore. A long backhand, that bounce, and this went wide. Keon went after the rebound. Brewer lets one go. Keon deflected it, and Worsley covered the short side. Brewer moves up again. Moore trying to get it out in front. Moore gets it back to Brewer. Brewer took his shot wide. It came right in front to Moore, and he shot it right to the open corner. Duff. Stopped by Moore. Hyper goes back. Shoots it off the boards, but not out. Moore's pass right on the Russo's stick. He flips it down the ice. Howard lets it go. Brewer touches it, and that's icing. And just showing the score on the out-of-town scoreboard. Chicago 4, Detroit nothing. On the face-off, Douglas. Off the boards, but not out. Delaveau is bumped. Armstrong can't get it loose as Delaveau controls it along the boards.
Early in the game, the Leafs were winning those tangles along the boards. They have been winning them for about 20 minutes.
All ready to go. Puck is dropped. Comes back out over the blue line. Harris shooting it in. Douglas stopped it. Clearing it around on the glass and all the way to center ice. J.C. Tremblay. A pass for Beliveau. He tipped it back into the corner. Horton after it. Horton behind the goal. Now he starts out, changes his mind. Being watched by Russo. There to pass up to Dickie Moore. Dickie Moore over the blue line, fakes the shot, lets it go, and Worsley stopped that. Moore tried to center it and knocked it behind the net, and J.C. Tremblay picks it off. Tremblay, a pass up at center. It goes to Moore. Got it to Keon. Keon turns. Back to Armstrong. Over to Moore. Over the line. Takes his shot. It's right to Armstrong. He shoots. And he shot it high. Horton plays it in behind the net. Keon centered it back, and there was nobody there. Douglas clearing it off the boards. Russo knocked it in. Douglas brought it out. Over the line. Closing in. Centered it. Moore back to Horton. Takes the shot. Lets it go, and it goes to Russo. Beliveau's broken his stick. Russo stopped by Douglas. Picked up. Covered by Armstrong. Duff in his own zone. Shot it to the left wing. Goes after it. Took a check from Douglas, and Keon goes back. Keon passed it right in front of his own net. That shot hit Douglas. He shoots it down the ice. Dongie Talbot back for it. Teams are changing on the go. Pass to Backstrom. Up at center. Pass for Ferguson. Stewart wrapped it off the boards, but not out. Stewart again ahead to Pulford. Pulford with Kelly. Pulford takes a long shot wide. The rebound off the boards to Roberts. To Backstrom. He's checked. Kelly for Pulford. And Stewart. And they fail to go in. Dongie Talbot with Backstrom at center ice. Trying to go around Bond. Ferguson moves up. He's coming in from the side, and Stewart took it away from him. Stewart ahead to Pulford. Down the ice. Over the line. Shot it into the corner. Hyper cleared it around on the boards for Roberts on the right wing. Brewer. For Stewart, he golfs it back into the Canadian zone. Worsley tipped it to the boards. It goes behind the net. Ferguson has broken his stick. Ellis tried to pass it. Talbot clears it, but not out. Vaughn shot it for Ellis. Ellis to Pulford. Pulford centered it. And Berenson. A clearing pass for Backstrom. Up to Berenson. Trying to go through, and Ellis gets back. Got it around on the boards for Kelly. Stopped by Harper, who's checked. Kelly trying to get loose. Harper gets it to Richard. Richard over the line. Stops. Trying to pass it in front. It does. It went across the goal mouth, and Stemkowski has it. Pass for Ellis. Offside. Score tied 3-3. The next goal ends it. Comes back out over the blue line. Harris shooting it in. Goes wide of Bauer. Horton back for it. Over to Douglas. Up for Mahavlich. Mahavlich racing down the ice into the Montreal zone. Centered it. And Worsley stopped it on the short side. Back down the ice goes Krugel with Richard over the line. Richard shoots. It's right in front of the net. Douglas to Mahavlich. Mike Mahavlich. Pass off the boards for Ellis. Richard gets away from Mahavlich. Cutting in from the left side for Balloon and Krugel. The shot hit Horton. Auer cleared it off to the wing. Mahavlich and Stemkowski come back. Stemkowski takes his shot. Worsley catches it and throws it to Harris. Covered by Stemkowski. Then J.C. Tremblay, a pass. Stopped by Ball. On cutting in. Right to Stemkowski. He shoots. It's right on the goal line, and Worsley holds it out. And from the faceoff, Brewer moves up. Havlitz tries to keep it in. Brewer fell on it. It goes loose to the board. Hyper to Provo. Provo covered by Stemkowski. Stemkowski at center. Shoots it right back into the Canadian zone. It's behind the net. Hyper shot it into the crowd. All set to go in the Montreal zone. It's knocked into the corner. Hyper lost it to Mahavlich. He shot it across the goal mouth. Ellis banged on his pass. Ungi Talbot to Dave Ballone. Shot it into the corner on the other side. Provo clearing it, but not out. Brewer takes his shot. Stemkowski a backhand, and Worsley made the save on Stemkowski.
Stemkowski, supposedly the greenest of the Leafs, has been their most dangerous player in this overtime period.
All set to go. Canadians clearing the puck out. Intended for Ballone, too far. Bob Bonds pass. Henri Richard gets it over the line. Ballone shot it in behind the Leaf goal, and Mahavlich has it. Mike Mahavlich heading away from one check and another at the Stemkowski. Back for Mahavlich. Mahavlich back to Ellis. He rolled it in front. Mahavlich went after along with Stemkowski, and Stemkowski just failed. On is given a jolt by Ballone. Talbot tries to get it out. Here's a four-man break for the Canadians. Here they come down the ice. Over the line for Talbot. He shoots. Bauer stopped it. It's right in front of Provo. A shot. Bauer stopped out, and Brewer shoots it out over the line to center. Hyper shooting it back in again. Hank Mahavlich in the corner. Shoots it out and down the ice. And that's going to be icing. Aon, Moore, and Armstrong, Douglas, and Horton. on the faceoff. It's cleared back to J.C. Tremblay. His shot is wide. Douglas being watched by Belleville. Clearing pass for Keon. Keon over for Moore, and J.C. Tremblay broke it up. Belleville clearing it back in again. Russo goes after it. Bell, Armstrong coming out from the side, shot it off the board, goes after it, cleared it out to center ice. Keon tried to hook it loose. The Canadians have it. Russo knocking it over the line. Armstrong gets it out. Clearing pass for Keon, just failed to click, and Dick Duff comes back. Over the line, Duff closing in, goes to the corner, tried to center it. Douglas is there. He shot it around on the boards for Moore. Russo chops it, and it bounces high. Here it goes to Russo, trying to get it through to Belleville. He centered it. Dickie Moore is there. Moore hit Russo, hit the side of the net. Down goes Belleville, and Horton goes after it. Clearing it to Moore. Moore, pass for Armstrong, broken up. Then Horton lost it to Ferguson. Ferguson is hit. Ralph Backstrom going behind the net. Tried to center it. It does. Right in front of the net. They shoot. Howard stops. Another shot. Backstrom couldn't put it in the net. The pass to Keon. They're trying to get back. It goes to Roberts. Shot off the boards to center ice. Horton. A long shot. Worsley stopped it. And it goes to J.C. Tremblay. Clearing pass to the open wing. Knocked out to center ice. Vaughn shooting it over again. J.C. Tremblay shoots it out. Brewer over the line again. Fulford went after it. And J.C. Tremblay shoots it out. Brewer over to Vaughn. Ahead to Stewart. Over the line. Stewart takes a shot wide. The rebound. Stewart went after it. So did Kelly. Roberts in the corner. Covered by Kelly. And there's no further play. Hulpert facing off against Backstrom. The puck is near the Canadian goal. Cleared out to Ferguson. Ferguson shoots it up the center, and Brewer's there. He shoots it back in again. Gongi Talbot, a pass. Kelly chopped at it. Talbot gets it again. Cleared it out. Brewer knocked it right into the leaf bench. 4 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first overtime. There's Toe Blake, back of the Montreal bench with Jean Belleville, Henri Richard, Bobby Rousseau. Goes back to Hyper. Comes to Stewart. Off the boards, Talbot picks it off. He brings it up the center and then shoots it into the leaf zone. Brewer back. He hit Kelly. And Roberts steered it into the corner, and Vaughn goes back for it. Clearing it around on the boards to Stewart. Up for Pulford. Over the blue line. Pulford shoots. Worsley caught it. Pulford goes to the boards, covered by Ferguson. Ralph Backstrom holds it against the boards, and there's no further play. Now it's Dave Malone, Henri Richard, Todd Provo, J.C. Tremblay, Ted Harris. Leafs have Stamkowski, Mahavlich, Ellis, Douglas, and Horton. On the faceoff, Stamkowski centered it in front. Provo ahead to Malone. Stopped by Douglas. Now then Henri Richard takes a long shot and hit Horton. Horton out for Mahavlich. Stopped by Provo. Cleared over. Richard was offside. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first overtime. On the face-off, Berenson. Stopped by Mahavlich. Now it's J.C. Tremblay. A long shot. That bounced wide. Henri Richard went after the rebound. Centered it right in front. Provo is up to goal. Provo has won the game for Montreal. Provo scored the goal. Claude Provo scoring the goal, number 14. We'll wait for the official time.
Number 16, Richard, and number 3, Tremblay. The time, 16:33.
16:33, Provo from Richard and Tremblay. And the teams on the ice now, the Toronto Maple Leafs congratulating the Montreal Canadiens on their well-deserved victory after fighting an uphill battle, trailing 3-1 at the end of the first period, and they just kept pegging away. They scored one in the second, one in the third, and one in the overtime. And it was Provo that did it from Richard and J.C. Tremblay at 16:33. And so the final score of tonight's game, Montreal Canadiens 4, Toronto Maple Leafs 3.
Claude Provo scores the overtime winning goal, 16:33 of the first overtime period from Henri Richard and J.C. Tremblay. And Frank Selke, where were you when this winning goal was scored?
Oddly enough, I was in the client view room just off the studio, the Hockey Night in Canada studio in the Gardens, between the Leaf and Canadian dressing rooms. And seated in the client view room was Terry Sawchuk. He was the backup goaltender. He was dressed in his uniform, but he didn't sit on the bench. He was in there. When Provo scored, the language kind of got blue. I thought Terry's stick was going to go through the television set, and he stomped out very, very unhappy. There's nothing worse in this game than losing in overtime. And to be eliminated from the playoffs that way, it's got to get you right here. And especially when you're a Terry Sawchuk sitting there and you haven't been able to play. Mm-hmm. If you could have played and been part of it, you'd feel differently. Well, I did my best. But he's sitting in there knowing that he didn't contribute anything that night, and so it hurts a little bit more.
Now, Claude Provo scores the goal, and I know we always used to call him the brick because you could have driven a train through his legs. He had such a wide skating stance.
Very, very solid hockey player.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw him off his skates.
No, he very stable, wonderful checker, one of the best against Bobby Hull, and he could score. I mean, this was not, he wasn't a Humpty Dumpty that couldn't put it in the net. So the fact that he got it is not an unusual thing. And you talk about him being a wide skater. My sainted mother-in-law said that this must be a fellow who had a lot between his legs. So he skated the way he skated. So it's a good thing she's not around to hear that.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that. Now, Frank, it's been a great treat, and the treat has been because we have all been in the broadcasting business here and in doing this, and to relive some of the stuff that's gone on behind the scenes. You've added a great deal to this. We appreciate you coming along.
Well, I've had a lot of fun, and I guess that most people would consider me as being a Montreal person. I was born in Toronto. I grew up in Toronto. My father worked for the Toronto Maple Leafs before he went to Montreal. I worked as a grunt here as a kid when they were getting ready to put ice shows in and hauling stuff. This is as much my home as Montreal. Mm-hmm. And so I feel an affinity to the Maple Leafs. I grew up wearing a Maple Leaf sweater. I hated everybody in the league other than the Maple Leafs, just as you do. And so this is not, strange to me. I'm at home here. As I said earlier on, my life in hockey has been one long pleasure. And I've had so much fun and made so many good friends that I can't imagine what it would have been like otherwise.
What keeps you busy these days?
I'm a retired gink in many respects. I'm the executive vice president of Canadian Special Olympics, and I spend a few days in the office weekly helping to raise some money and things of that nature. I'm going to give myself a pat. I have been selected as the honorary coach of Team Canada for the World Games in June of 2003 in Ireland.
Oh, well,
So I'm just absolutely thrilled to pieces that I'm going to be taking our team of mentally disabled athletes to Ireland. It's kind of the highlight of my retired years, and I'm thrilled to pieces about it.
and we're thrilled to pieces to have you here and be a part of this. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Joe. It's been great.
Frank Selke Jr. has been our guest. We took him back to April 13th, 1965, as the Montreal Canadiens come from behind to win in overtime to eliminate the Leafs in the sixth and deciding game. This has been Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV.